I'm Carrie Lake with a look at your Fox 10 Facebook news update. 2 people found shot to death in an underground parking garage near 17th Street and Highland. Both bodies found inside a vehicle along with a gun. Police have not released the names of the victims. An investigation underway after a 1-year-old is found unresponsive in a Peoria apartment. The call came out as a drowning, and police said that when they arrived, the girl was unconscious and wet. Mom said she had been performing CPR. The girl is in critical condition. A teenager charged as an adult in the death of her boyfriend.
Well, what happened there? Let's see if this is, here we go. Maybe this is the correct one.
I'm Carrie Lake with a look at your Fox 10 Facebook news update. 2 people found shot to death in an underground parking garage near 17th Street and Highland. Both bodies found inside a vehicle along with a gun. Police have not released the names of the victims. An investigation underway after a 1-year-old is found unresponsive in a Peoria apartment. The call came out as a drowning, and police said that when they arrived, the girl was unconscious and wet. Mom said she had been performing CPR. The girl is in critical condition. A teenager charged as an adult in the death of her boyfriend pleads guilty.
Nope. Apparently, I did not get the complete Fox 10 Facebook update. Is this the right one?
I'm Carrie Lake with a look at your Fox 10 Facebook news update. 2 people found shot to death in an underground parking garage near 17th Street and Highland. Both bodies found inside a vehicle along with a gun. Police have not released the names of the victims. An investigation underway after a 1-year-old is found unresponsive in a Peoria apartment. The call came out as a drowning, and police said that when they arrived, the girl was unconscious and wet. Mom said she had been performing CPR. The girl is in critical condition. A teenager charged as an adult in the death of her boyfriend pleads guilty to second-degree murder. Jessica Burlew was only 16 years old when she strangled her 43-year-old boyfriend to death with an electrical wire. Police say it happened while the couple were having sex. She will be sentenced October 5th. The Phoenix Zoo is back open after being closed for 3 days because of very heavy storm damage. The zoo has a birthday celebration planned for this weekend for its 1-year-old orangutan, Jiwa. And great temperatures this Labor Day weekend, staying below the triple digits until Monday, with a chance of rain returning next week. Remember, send us your weather pictures and videos and news stories and tips using social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and use the hashtag Fox10Phoenix. I'm Carrie Lake. Have a great weekend.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fox 10 News Now. It took me a while to find the right file. That's right, I'm a poet. It took me a while to find the right file, but I did. I finally found it. So thank you to all for your patience. I'm going to turn up my mic here because sometimes people tell me I talk too low. So yes, it took me a few minutes, but I did finally find the correct Fox 10 Facebook update file. A lot of interesting stories out of Phoenix today. Between the bodies found in the parking garage, we had a suspected shooting that happened around 4:35-ish that we were dealing with. A lot of weather coming out of Phoenix. They're saying we could have some storms tonight. Dave Muncie specifically saying that. So, and then, the drowning. I mean, there's just so much going on. And it's Friday. Why can't we have these busy news days on Mondays? I think that would be easier for me to cope with. And Richard's going to talk to me tonight about the Cardinals. He pitched this too. Don't say anything inappropriate. I'm on air. I'm on.
Say hi, everyone.
Come say hi. Pop in.
Where am I? Hello.
You're
Hi,
there.
everyone. How's it going?
Hey, Richard, you're in my header, so you have to come talk to me later.
Okay, for
That's
sure.
Dave.
I know it's been a while, but I will be back.
And you're coming back better than ever.
Better than ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's making a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
See,
He's making
see
it
how many,
one more.
see how many comments you get.
Oh my gosh, 337,000? Amazing. I'm reading the chat room. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I have to clarify too. This is a burn. Is that not the worst thing you've ever seen? It hurts. It's a burn mark, and it's unfortunate. I have a lot of stories for you tonight. Richard is going to come talk to us about the cards. A specific guy thing. They traded. Man. Cards. Nicole's passing me right now. Quietly. Well, I wanted to give you some local stories for the next 20 minutes. I don't have them in yet, so why don't I send you to a national story? Why don't we kick it off with Texas dentist murder suspect? Excuse me?
Even though she lived at Uptown's Gables Park 17 alone for several years, families say Kendra Hatcher never worried.
There were cameras there, locked the garage, gated community. She said she always felt safe. We never expected her not to be safe.
But that sense of security is now a sense of urgency after the 35-year-old dentist was found shot dead in the parking garage around 7:45 last night. Police say someone followed another car in and waited for Hatcher to drive up.
She's the sweetest person, and I can't imagine anybody wanting to hurt her.
Hatcher's sister in Illinois spoke to us by phone but didn't want to put her picture out there because of the uncertainty about her sister's killer.
I just wanted I wanted her to be found.
These are the only images police have released at this point. It's not clear if there are any images of the actual shooting. Investigators are hoping the images of this older model Jeep Cherokee with damaged or faded paint on the hood with paper license plates may jog someone's memory. The rims are distinctive, and it's hard to tell whether the driver is a man or woman.
Everybody's very sad and very scared.
Carrie Hall lives 2 doors down from Hatcher. She believes this upscale building should have better surveillance.
We've got a very good camera in the dog room to make sure people pick up after their dogs, but we don't have them around the parking garage.
While the grief is overwhelming, families say finding Hatcher's killer is the only way to find peace.
She has a family that deserves closure.
What a horrible story out of Texas. I absolutely would love to stay involved in this, and I think that that's very interesting. There is something, the story behind this murder, I imagine, is going to be very interesting once we know why it happened and who did it. Beautiful young girl, though, and it sounds like she was successful, and it sounded like she was in a nice apartment complex. So there is something, whether, you always assume in these scenarios, because of shows like Dateline or 48 Hours, you always assume in these scenarios that it had something to do with like a jilted lover. But I think that that's going to be a very interesting story once we know more about this case. Let's head over to Tennessee. Tennessee busting texting drivers. I better avoid Tennessee.
Blue Honda Accord just passed the busted up here on the right.
Tennessee state troopers are hiding in plain sight as they try to recapture the attention of distracted drivers.
The reason why I stopped you is because you were texting while you were driving.
Folks aren't looking for rigs like this that belong to us that are used for these enforcement initiatives.
Texting and driving, white Chevy.
As a driver, you might be uncomfortable with the idea of cops peering down into your car from a big rig, but police insist it's all about saving lives. The National Safety Council cites distracted driving as the 3rd leading cause of traffic fatalities, just after alcohol use and speeding.
This Labor Day weekend, if we could have no drunk drivers, no distracted drivers, and people just slowed down a little bit, hundreds of lives would be saved.
Is there any legal reason why you were texting and driving?
The day we rode along with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, state troopers issued 55 citations to distracted drivers. More than 2/3 were texting.
It seems like people have the attitude of everybody does it, and this one time isn't going to matter. This one time isn't going to hurt, and unfortunately, many times those distractions do end up in crashes.
Police compare the distracting effects of texting to driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. They say a change in social attitudes will go a long way in saving lives. In Nashville, Tennessee, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
A lot of comments in the chat room in regards to texting and driving. Joni, I agree. It's very unsafe. It's very dangerous. Texting and driving is really dangerous. She says, so dangerous. Isn't it illegal there? Asks Spina. And I don't think it's actually, I don't know. It's definitely illegal in Los Angeles. I remember in Los Angeles, you couldn't even, if a cop caught you like this, you could get pulled over. You're not even allowed to talk on the phone in Los Angeles. You'd have to use your speaker, or you'd have to use your Bluetooth. It is stupid. I agree. Most of the time, if I am touching my cell phone in the car, I'm just trying to turn the Jonas Brothers off, because they're the one band that I have yet to remove from my iPod. I'm just like, ugh. No, I don't want to listen to Joe Bro right now. Or ever again. I'm maturing. I'm seeing some of these local stories pop up in my folder, so why don't we jump to Labor Day drivers to enjoy lower gas prices.
Weekend, you're going to head out. AAA says more than 30 million Americans will travel this Labor Day weekend, at least 50 miles from their home over the next 3 days. The travel agency expects it to be the busiest Labor Day weekend for drivers since 2008. And if you're here in Arizona and you're heading out, you're going to have a lot of company.
More than 1 million Arizonans are expected to hit the roads. Thinking that means it's going to be great to be here.
Yeah, we'll
have the house tour, the
dinner
reservations. The whole
reservations.
place. Fox 10's Daniel Miller is live along the I-10 talking to some travelers tonight. I always like the weekends when everybody gets out of town, but I suppose it's a perfect 3-day weekend to go someplace, right, Danielle?
Hey, that's right, and there's plenty of people doing that now. Hundreds of thousands of people here in Arizona expecting to say goodbye to summer and cheer in this Labor Day weekend. Now, what you're looking at right here is the I-10 heading westbound. It's a pretty stop and go at this hour right now, and Friday and Monday are said to be the busiest days for travel over this Labor Day weekend. Now, according to AAA, more than 1.4 million Arizonans are projected to travel over the weekend. That's about a 0.3 increase from last year. Now, 1.1 million of those people are expected to be driving, and 257,000 are planning to fly. Now, earlier we caught up with some travelers at the rest stop along the I-10, and one family is heading to Tombstone for the holiday weekend, and they tell us, although they're expecting extremely heavy travel, the fun that they're about to have is well worth it.
Being from Seattle with a lot of travel traffic, we're used to it, so we'll be fine. We've always wanted to go. There's a big celebration tomorrow, big parades and everything, and they're doing a big thing with the vigilantes down there, so we're excited to see the reenactment of the gunfight at the OK Corral. Should be pretty good.
And we also spoke to a husband and wife who are actually just getting back into town. They said that they actually traveled last week to skip all of the holiday traffic, and might not be too bad of an idea, but no one we spoke to could complain about these gas prices that we have. Right now, compared to last year, people are paying about $1 less per gallon, so no complaints there. Now, AAA says that they can totally amount that for the people who are traveling, this bump in travel for this holiday weekend. Reporting live, Danielle Miller, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Danielle. Drivers expected to pay the lowest Labor Day gas prices since 2004, so maybe this is a good weekend for a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
Go somewhere perhaps around the state. Prices at the pump holding steady, coming in under $3 a gallon. GasBuddy.com shows the average price of gas is ringing in at $2.42 a gallon. Prices have been declining for months, and analysts say they expect the trend to continue. And here in Arizona, the statewide average, if you're wondering, for a gallon of gas is running at $2.52. That's down 25 cents from a month ago, and it's also down 88 cents from a year ago. The trend is for prices to continue to fall. Well, we've made it easy to find the lowest gas prices in your neighborhood, though it sounds like they're pretty low everywhere in our state. You can head over to fox10phoenix.com, click the traffic tab, and then the gas tracker.
Well, that's a happy story. We all love hearing that gas prices are going down. I mean, I really don't feel like I'm going to be doing any traveling this weekend. I just want to be in some air conditioning, in a venue, maybe by a pool. Me and Diana, producer Diana, you've met her. We have pool plans. We're very excited about our pool plans. Oh, this is one of those scary stories. This is the breaking news I was telling you about earlier, around 5, the shooting in Scottsdale. Oof. Let's get an update.
I'll tell you about Scottsdale police investigating a double shooting. SkyFox over the scene near 73rd Street and Valley View Road. Not a lot of details right now, but we are working this story. We've got a crew on the scene. We're going to keep you updated on new information throughout the newscast.
Well, that was the fastest 15 seconds of my life. I need more information. Hopefully I'll be able to find it. I don't see Ale in the chat room, so I'm going to hold out on that weather update.
Closely since this morning, SkyFox over a business complex near 17th Street and Highland. 2 people found shot to death inside of a parking garage. Andrew has been joining us live with the latest developments on this case.
Carrie, this is an underground parking garage at a busy office building near 16th Street and Camelback in Phoenix. And right now, police say the evidence points to a murder-suicide. The 2 bodies were found on the first level of an underground parking garage. Someone discovered the bodies around 10:45 this morning. Workers in the building could hear screams.
You couldn't really tell if it was screaming or something mechanical almost, but people started gathering in the entryway. We couldn't even tell where it was coming from. And then all of a sudden, all the cops and the fire department start showing up.
The underground parking garage is not open to the public. You need a key card to get in. Investigators say they found a man in his 50s and a woman in her 30s inside an SUV, both shot. They also found a gun inside the car.
We do not have any outstanding suspect information or anybody that we are currently looking for.
This building houses the re-election headquarters for Senator John McCain and many other businesses.
Nobody in the building heard a gunshot or anything like that, so everyone heard the screaming.
Police sealed off the parking lot and the garage. Many workers watched from outside their offices.
We just had to leave the building.
It was disturbing, to say the least.
Police are now working to figure out the relationship between the 2 and their connection to the office building. And police tell us that this does not involve staffers with the McCain re-election headquarters, which are housed in the office building behind me. At this point, they have not revealed the identities of the 2 people found dead in the parking garage. Reporting live in Phoenix, I'm Andrew Hasbun, Fox 10 News.
What a fascinating story. I look forward to hearing more about that as well. I'm sure that's something we will keep you updated on throughout the weekend here on Fox 10. Good to know that they're not associated with the McCain campaign, but how interesting that happened in that venue. I was going to go to one that's kind of silly, but I feel like we're in a weird place now. Maybe more serious than silly.
Thing that you just don't see very often. 3 brothers. All of them successful. They're all doctors, and they're all part of the newest group of residents at Banner University Medical Center in Phoenix. And that's just the half of it. Anita Roman introduces us to them.
On any given day, on any given shift, patients at Banner University Medical Center, Phoenix, could cross paths with Dr. Abadali.
His breathing is much better today.
That is Dr. Mustafa, Hussein, or Ali Abadali.
They are currently 3rd years. I'm a 1st year, of course.
Dr. Ali is the youngest. He is a 1st-year internal medicine resident.
Hi, I'm Dr. Abadali. Hello. How are you feeling today?
I'm well. His older brothers are 3rd-year residents, also in internal medicine.
Deep breath. I was the 1st generation to start medical school, and my brothers also followed that pathway.
The brothers have called Arizona home for about a decade now, even attending medical school together. It's their family history that serves just as interesting. The family escaped the persecution of Saddam Hussein in the Middle East after several family members were killed. They fled to different Middle Eastern countries before arriving in the United States.
We grew up together and we were raised together, so we knew our differences and we knew our boundaries. So we knew where we clicked, and I think we supplement each other.
They say they support each other in every way, complement one another's skills, and always know that they are at home together.
When we do see each other, it's definitely a good feeling, just feeling like I'm at home.
Anita Roman, Fox 10 News.
The hospital is pretty certain that this is the first time in its history 3 brothers have been residents under the same program at the same time. The doctors have 2 more younger brothers. One of them is a student at ASU with possible aspirations of becoming a doctor, and the 5th is about to start ASU with possible aspirations of becoming a dentist.
Wow, how about that?
Glendale letter carrier has decided it's time to retire.
But before he does that, he sent out his own letter that's gone viral online. It's a heartfelt message sent to the people on his route who say they're going to miss the man who's been delivering their mail all these years.
How you doing, sir?
Very good.
This is Michael Raymer, a veteran mail carrier for the past 20 years.
Being out here, talking to my customers, just getting to know them, they're all like a second family to me.
Raymer has decided to retire, but before he hands off his route to another letter carrier, he wanted to send his own letter, which has gone viral.
I just felt that was the best way to let my customers know that when they look out their door in a few weeks and see a different person delivering their mail at a different time, they'll know why.
He sent the letter to all the people on his route, saying he enjoyed being their letter carrier and getting to know them over the years.
I've been here long enough. I see the kids when they're little, and I watch them grow up.
And the people on his route have enjoyed getting to know him.
I mean, he's just one of those guys that you can talk to. He's a sweet soul and he's a sweet guy. I'm going to miss him.
A lot of them have said I can't retire. Said I have to stick around. So.
And even though retirement's a big change,
this will be the first time since I was 9 years old that I haven't had a job.
He says he's ready.
I hope I've made a difference and I've left an impression on somebody. I'm just going to miss the people. These people are so kind and we all get along, and it's just good to be out here.
Raymer's last day is September 30th. He says he has no big plans for his retirement. He thinks he's going to get a lot done, though, around the house.
Honey-do list.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few of them waiting.
Sure.
What a sweet story. And then I do want to, I'm excited about this one. So we'll take a minute. Also, Ale, I see you're back in the chat room, so we are going to go into that weather update any minute now. However, I'm excited about this because I love shopping and I love Steve Kraft. So we're going to go into Steve Kraft's story right now. I think. Here we go.
Here, and millions of people will be doing more than just swimming or firing up the barbecue. This weekend's expected to be a great time to shop. Some good deals out there. Steve Kraft live with the story, and we keep talking about comparing this to Black Friday. Is it really that way, Steve?
Kinda, and yeah, a couple minutes ago you saw me wearing a GoPro camera so we could give you guys another view of the sales that we were looking at. This Labor Day weekend is sale at a number of stores around the valley. Deals on appliances, clothes, TVs, some computer gear, and more. Some deals as good as Black Friday, the big shopping sales day right after Thanksgiving, so you can do some of your Christmas shopping early.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Nothing gets you in the spirit like a little music of the
I feel
season,
like this is
a
copyrighted.
Santa cap, and a sale. A Labor Day sale, that is. Appliances are priced to move this holiday weekend.
If you look at the price right off the price, you're saving $370 on this particular stove right here. You're saving $400 on this particular Samsung right here. So we've got savings throughout with every single brand.
Now, is this something that's come out in connection with Labor Day, this particular sale?
Correct.
Do you like my cap?
Absolutely.
Would you like to try it on?
No.
Some big ticket items like refrigerators over $1,000 cheaper. Welcome news if you're looking to buy. Do you know that they're doing these types of discounts?
I had no idea, and we actually need a new fridge, so it might be helpful.
To get in the spirit, would you like to wear this cap?
I can.
Feel free.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Letitia liked what she saw. Yeah, $1,000.
Nice. That's not bad.
Target is another store with sale prices heading into the Labor Day weekend on electronics, clothes, and other items too. Now you may be saying the Christmas sales season already? It seems to be coming earlier every year, and you may be right. Reporting live, Steve Kraft, Fox 10 News.
I love Steve Kraft like you would not believe. He's one of my favorite human beings on the entire planet. This face that he makes right here is one of the reasons.
I can.
Feel free.
Beginning to look a lot like
I don't think he knows how funny he is. Is that not hilarious? Just like, that's like such a swag face. Like, yeah, people will do what I tell them to. This lady's wearing a Santa hat. It's 100 degrees outside. It's whatever. I love it. What a cute story. I'm going to go into our weather update now for Ale, who's in the chat room and loves weather. I think Ale is secretly anticipating a career in weather, being a weatherman. And so let me pull our weather up for you, and then we're going to go into some Hillary Clinton in Puerto Rico. I was in West Side Story, that's why I did that. Due to my West Side Story history. I was also in Little Shop of Horrors. I'm not trying to brag.
Look from our tower cam in Flagstaff. This is on Mount Eldon. Raindrops on the lens from the storm clouds off in the distance. It's definitely turning out to be...
Is there a windshield wiper on there? Did you see that?
It looked like it, didn't it? But it didn't do much. It
didn't help.
It didn't help at all.
We need new blades on that
place
thing.
the blade there. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty active monsoon night across the state.
And that may well be. I'm going to have to call the repairman and have that blade repaired there. We don't do that often enough. Take a look at it. You can see the haze over the valley as stuff starts to move in. There's a little bit of rain falling here and there. The temperature, well, right now 93 degrees, got that cloud cover, and winds out of the south at 12, 58 degrees on the dew point, 31%. On the humidity. Temperatures right now, 91 degrees in Ahwatukee, 92 degrees in Scottsdale, 93 at Apache Junction, 89 degrees up at Cave Creek. In Glendale, 97 degrees right now. So these temperatures are still up on the day today. You can see that moisture rolling in here, high pressure, bringing it in, along with the low pressure with those opposing rotations, bringing that moisture right into the state here, bringing it up toward Phoenix a little bit closer as we saw earlier. We zoom down again and we just kind of see it working its way in. Sometimes the moisture comes in before the rain does, and then when it loads up on moisture, it just starts letting go. This stuff on the west side, here's Tonopah right over here. So those guys, Gila Bend right down in this area here, getting a little shot. And then you can see the Tucson area, that stuff moving away from us as we look to the east of us here, up by Hannigan Meadow, those areas, a little bit coming in there, but nothing that would be affecting the valley, just this stuff on the west. And we saw the lens up in Flagstaff where the rain is coming down, and there you see it with that storm system moving right over the Flagstaff area. We go to 98 degrees for the high today, 93 in Mesa, 94 at Deer Valley, 103 is the norm, 112 is the record high on the day today. Other numbers that we have, Yuma at 103 degrees, 97 at Gila Bend, 86 in Sedona, and 72 today in Flagstaff with that rain coming down. This is your normal line. You can see it runs from 103 to 101. We get a little away from it on the far end of it, but right away we're under it a little bit. 98 degrees for the high today, 76 the morning low, 103 and 80 normal high and low, record high 112, record low at 60. As we look across the country, we have a little bit of active weather out there. This is Kevin down here feeding that moisture up into Arizona and other parts of the west, picking up a little bit of that weather as well. Overnight, chance of rain 78 degrees. For tomorrow, chance of rain 99 degrees. For Sunday, we will be looking at 100 degrees with a chance of rain. There's your Labor Day with a chance of rain and 101 degrees, and then you can see we grow those temperatures from there. Watch your kids around water.
And I just wanted to show you SkyFox. This is current visual we're getting out of SkyFox. They are, I believe they're headed towards Mesa, is what I was told. But also, I just realized that there's a funny freeze frame of Troy Hayden on the other screen, so I'm going to go back there for our personal humor, just because we have these inside jokes, and this is a funny Troy Hayden frozen face. Should have been a meme. So now, I will take you to Hillary Clinton in Puerto Rico. And it's going to take me a minute to throw up that lower third, but you know what you're looking at. I will see you in the chat room. I think it's safe to say we could fast forward through some of this, don't you? A lot of this, wow. 12 minutes. Oh, whoa, that guy's bow tie though. Hey! Bow tie! Love it! I think he's walking towards us with the bow tie. Get it? Alright, now we have to be serious. Looks like it's finally actually coming to fruition. Here we go. This looks real. This looks like action. Oh, there we go. Gonna remove me from the screen so you can enjoy.
solidaridad, el tuyo también se va.
Spoke too soon. I don't want to forward too far. I'll watch for it with you. We will commit to this together. All right, I'm gonna have to fast. My patience is running thin. It's Friday night. Oh, but it's getting awfully quiet. Maybe that means they're about to enter the room. I feel like we're waiting for Beyonce. Happy birthday, Beyonce, by the way. It's Beyonce's birthday. Everybody kneeling. The last time we saw kneeling, let's revisit this. The last time we saw kneeling from media was at Donald Trump's press event. Steve Kraft said he'd never seen anything like it when they required him to kneel in front of Donald Trump. We have a car in a canal coming up here pretty soon too, so I might briefly interrupt Hillary Clinton to show you the car in the canal in Phoenix. Although it really doesn't look like Hillary's on her way anytime soon. What do I know about the car in the canal? Let me tell you. Near 44th Street and Camelback, there is a car in the canal. And once I have those visuals via SkyFox, I'm going to bring those to you, just so you know.
Well, first, let me say how pleased I am to be back in Puerto Rico for this important event. I apologize for running late. The airplane that was supposed to take me down broke down, so we had to wait, but I'm thrilled that it has worked out for me to be here with all of you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of the panelists. I have had a great opportunity in the past to work with a number of you. Also, as I said in New York, I felt strongly that I was representing Puerto Rico as well as the state of New York. And I'm here today because I'm running for the President of the United States and of Puerto Rico. I believe that our President should give just as much attention to Puerto Rico and the American citizens who live here as to people anywhere in our country. And one of the challenges we face, which we will discuss today, is the unfortunate legacy of inconsistent, incoherent, and inequitable treatment for health care here in Puerto Rico. And so I want to hear from the experts around this table. I do like to listen and to learn more about the challenges that Puerto Rico is facing, so that then I can offer some more well thought out responses, because the people who are on the front lines, like those before you, have much to teach me, as well as the rest of us. So with that, I would like to turn it over to the panel and thank everyone associated with this superb institution. The gratitude that I feel for the work you do every day. I was learning a little bit more about it even as I was meeting with some of the officials here, and it's very encouraging to see this institution providing life-saving work for people of Puerto Rico and indeed across the Caribbean. And I applaud the administrators and the physicians and the nurses and everyone associated with the cardiovascular expertise that you provide.
And I mean no disrespect to Mrs. Clinton. However, I do have these live shots out of 44th Street and Camelback. Oh wow, somebody's dead in this canal. The body is floating down the canal. What? Oh my gosh. It's not a car, it's a body. This is a body that they are rescuing from the canal. It's a dead body. We're sending a reporter out there right now. What? They are currently trying to pick this body up out of the canal. These are images via SkyFox. This is at 44th Street and Camelback. This is here in Scottsdale, or Phoenix. This again is a body recovery off 44th Street in Camelback. This is in a canal. It was originally reported that there was a car in the canal, and we thought we were going to a car being collected from the canal. But in reality, this was a dead body floating down the canal. And these individuals are trying to recover, I should say, this body. I'm watching live with you. There's no delay. Just to reiterate, there is no delay, and watch at your own risk if this is something that, might make you uncomfortable. I don't know what we're going to see. This is a body being recovered, a dead body being recovered off 44th Street in Camelback. We originally believed that we were going to the recovery of a car in the canal, but reality is this is a dead body that has been discovered in the canal, and they are trying to recover the body. Discretion is advised. Watch at your own risk. Know that there is no delay because we are streaming live on the internet and we do not know what you're going to see. If you just are now tuning in, we are at near 44th Street in Camelback, where we initially were told there was a car in this canal, and we thought we would just be getting visuals of a car in the canal and then likely towing it out or however you do that. I'm not an expert on removing cars from canals, but in actuality what this is a dead body that was discovered in the canal at 44th Street in Camelback. We are watching them attempt to recover that body. And this is, again, a live stream with no delay. So keep that in mind as you watch. If this is something that makes you even slightly uncomfortable, I would watch at your own discretion. So if you're just tuning in, or if you're kind of lost in regards to what we're currently looking at, in the center of the screen right now, you can see a group of officers attempting to recover a dead body that was found floating near 44th Street in Camelback. The initial call was for a car, and that's what we assumed we were going. That's what we assumed we were going to be seeing, but what we are actually seeing is a dead body. You can see that white right there. It's actually quite upsetting. And this is a live stream. Discretion is advised. And as I have more information, I'll certainly give it to you, but really what we're watching here is via SkyFox, our helicopter, and it really kind of looks like our helicopter is doing them a solid and giving them some light as well. What is this? What's this coming up? This is interesting. You can see, I just confirmed with my producer that I was like, there's somebody in there, right? Yes, there is somebody in there trying to help recover that body. Oh, wow. Do you see that on the center, but a little bit to the left of the screen? You can see they've got a hold of the body. Again, this is at 44th Street in Camelback. Initial call was for a car in the canal, and when we got there, we realized that they were rescuing, or not rescuing, but recovering. They were recovering a body that was floating along the canal. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals around the body trying to secure it on them. I believe they're going to put it in the ambulance. Wow. You can see all that rope. They have that yellow rope. Placing a cloth over it. Likely out of respect, and so that SkyFox can't get a better look. And no idea, to confirm, no idea who this is or the circumstances, how they ended up in the canal. That's a question asked in the chat room, and to confirm, no, we do not know. Agree with Joni in the chat. The body did look like a male. It did look similar to a male's shape and build. Fascinating to see the process of the recovery, though. Sad that we had to bring it to you here on Fox 10 News Now. I'm sorry if you're upset by that. This is live, though, and that's what we do. We bring you live news from all over the world. This, however, was happening this evening in Phoenix, and so we wanted to bring that to you specifically via SkyFox. If you're just now tuning in, we are currently watching the recovery of a body rescued, recovered from 44th Street and Camelback. They did already recover the body. It's in an ambulance that you're looking at right now. However, if you'd like to actually see the recovery process, this is a live stream, so what you can do here on YouTube is at the very end of the video, there's that circle. It's lit up red right now. You can actually drag the circle back. We're losing SkyFox right now, so if you tuned in for this recovery, you want to drag that circle back a few minutes, and you can see the recovery in full. You actually see an individual jump into the canal and to get a hold of the body, and then multiple individuals pull the body up and they put it in the ambulance. But if you are here to look at that, you can go back and watch that by just grabbing the circle at the very end of the video, lit up red, drag it back a few minutes, and you can see it there. We now are, since we've lost our visuals of the canal at 44th and Camelback, we are going to go back to Hillary Clinton in Puerto Rico.
I want to now turn it over to our panelists and ask them, please, you probably know some or all of them, but each one will introduce himself or herself and then make their presentation. So with that, let me ask all of you to begin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hillary Clinton. My name is Ana Rios, MD and Secretary of the Department of Health of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. My pleasure to be here. I made a presentation about the problem of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is facing many challenges with the Medicaid and Medicare funding due to a reduction of 11% in Medicare reimbursement for the year of 2016 and Medicaid fiscal cliff, which will occur approximately in 2018. Once ACA funding for Puerto Rico Medicaid ceases with no additional funds provided by the Congress. In the Medicaid issues, we have that Puerto Rico has 1.6 million beneficiaries of Medicaid, 45% of the Puerto Rico population. 1.4 million are federal eligible and 200,000 state eligible. We are a number 14 in the states, in the US. We currently spend $2.7 billion in the PSG or government health plan, an average of 165 PMPM. Federal government contributes with 55%, 1.4 billion due to ACA funds, and the government contributes with 45%, $1.2 billion. We are the number 36 in the USA in expenditure in healthcare. In 2018, the federal government contribution to Puerto Rico Medicaid will decrease by $800 million. From $1.2 billion to $400 million, from 55% of the total amount to a mere 20%. Because of the Medicaid cap, American citizens that live in the Commonwealth are treated differently than the mainline counterparts. We are asked or requesting that the Congress act to eliminate the cap for Puerto Rico Medicaid funding and provide the parity to the Commonwealth using the same FMAP, that is formula, as other states. In the Medicare case, Puerto Rico citizens pay the same taxes as U.S. counterpart for Medicare. There is no difference. Puerto Rico has the highest national enrollment in Medicare Advantage, over 70% of the total Medicare population. MA has a high penetration in Puerto Rico when compared to USA. We have 500,000 enrollees in Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage is preferred over traditional Medicare due to the benefit and copayment coinsurance available to the beneficiaries. Our people can stretch the dollar, can use adequately the dollar. CMS enacted an unfair rate reduction of 11% for MA in Puerto Rico for 2016.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have new SkyFox visuals for you. This is now at Shea and Via Linda, where there's a reported drowning. I mean, I think that this is a big concern right now. This weekend specifically, they're very concerned about drownings. They're very concerned about children drowning. I don't know what the age of the reported drowning is here. I'm waiting for additional details. But right now we are at Shea and Via Linda due to a reported drowning. And wow, a lot of police activity at the scene so far. Hopefully I'll have additional information for you here. But it is a busy news night. It's a busy news day. It feels like at 4:30 they set the tone for the evening with a slew of breaking news, and it seems like it's going to continue throughout the night. But Shea Via Linda reported drowning. I don't know how many supposed victims or look, you can see the police going to the backyard. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how many people are possibly injured. I don't know if there are any deceased. I don't have details for you at this time, but know that that's why we're hovering on the scene via SkyFox. Hopefully we'll get some better visuals. I wish they could shine a light for us. Though you can see the reflection in the water. Oh, wow. I don't know, can you see the reflection of the water? Happily says in the chat, SkyFox needs to put a light on, but I think it was actually just requested by the authorities that we keep our lights off. All I know about this incident is it's a reported drowning at Shea and Via Linda. I feel like we should stay on this in case something, I don't know. I'm torn because I can't see much, but I feel like we should stay on it in case something happens. You see that small light they're using. Look at all that police activity you can see in the corner, the top corner. Let me remove this so you can get a better glance. That just is insane how lit up that neighborhood is. Currently, those police officers are there due to a reported drowning. That's happening at Shea and Via Linda. This is a jam-packed news night here in Phoenix. It's unbelievable. We were just looking at the recovery of the body in the Canal on 44th Street in Camelback, and now we are at this drowning at Shea and Via Linda. Upsetting to have to report this. And then again, this is a holiday weekend when drowning. We've been doing a lot of drowning stories here on Fox 10, trying to draw attention to the dangers, especially in a holiday weekend. A lot of families are going to be around the pool. A lot of young people, older people will be around water with alcohol, and it seems like we are having we're bringing you a lot of upsetting stories to kick off the holiday weekend. Bronwyn asks, does this neighborhood have a big lake at Shea and Via Linda, Kinsey? It looks too big to be a pool. Yeah, this is one of those really cute and quaint neighborhoods that has almost the man-made lakes in your backyard. I think that's what we're looking at. Unfortunately, it looks completely dark right now and black. Hopefully we'll get our visuals back here pretty quickly. But it's one of those man-made lakes that are just in your backyard, making the neighborhood cute, quaint, and that's again at Shea and Via Linda. While I don't have those visuals, let's head back over to Hillary Clinton in Puerto Rico.
For insurance available to the beneficiaries. Our people can stretch the dollar, can use adequately the dollar. CMS enacted an unfair rate reduction of 11% for MA in Puerto Rico for 2016 compared to a 3% of reduction on average in the U.S. mainland. Puerto Rico does not have a low-income subsidy that the state has, which places significant burden on our beneficiaries' ability to pay for MA. CMS data analysis that led to rate cut decision was based on incomplete data, which led to a misinformed decision. So we are asking or requesting that CMS should freeze a rate cut decision until proper analysis with complete data is performed. MA has been very successful in Puerto Rico. It should be protected because of the way it benefits to our senior citizens.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruiz. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Clinton. My name is Orlando Gonzalez. My name is Orlando Gonzalez. I'm the president of MMN Healthcare. We're the largest Medicare Advantage insurance company in Puerto Rico, the first also Medicare Advantage company. And we have to deal day by day with the beneficiaries of Medicare on the island. I think you probably know Puerto Rico enough to know that Puerto Rico has many issues that divide us. But on this topic, when it comes to healthcare, regardless of the sector, you got the hospital here, you have the nursing, the pharmacies, you have the physicians. Everybody's united because we're talking about the healthcare of the people of Puerto Rico, particularly the people that need the most. More than 60% of the population in Puerto Rico depend on Medicare and Medicaid to get access to the healthcare services. And as you heard from Dr. Rios, those funds are right now in jeopardy for different cuts that comes because of the ACA implementation and also because of the expiration of the Medicaid funds. So it is imperative that action be taken in Congress and also by the CMS administration to deal with this situation because we're talking about the people that need the most on the island. I'm pretty sure you will agree that it is very unfair that a senior citizen, just because lived in Puerto Rico, being a U.S. citizen, will be getting much less funds for their access to care. As the Secretary said, for 2011, Puerto Rico is facing an 11% reduction in the funding, when in the States it's an average of a 3% increase. That's a 14% difference that it makes really no sense. So, particularly on Medicare, because the Puerto Rico citizens paid Medicare in the same percentage as any other citizen in the United States. So we urge really the administration, and we're very hopeful that when you become the president, you're going to take care of these issues.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, thank you for coming. I think that you know pretty much most of the problems we have in Puerto Rico and some of the issues we have. Myself, as president of the Puerto Rico Hospital Union, has been many times going to Washington to explain what the situations are in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a great healthcare system. Puerto Rico has done very well in taking care of our patients with half of the money that anybody in New York or anybody in California or anybody anywhere else would do it. And we're very proud of that heritage. We're very proud of the 70 hospitals we have. We are very proud of our doctors. But it's coming to a point where sort of a perfect storm, the concept of the perfect storm, is getting very close to us, where the necessities of delivery of care and the monies available are not going to equate. They're not going to be the same, because Puerto Rico hospitals, for example, are reimbursed basically around 52% of what the same hospital would be reimbursed in the US. And that puts a strain on where our patients are really going to get their services at one point or another. We have had a lot of things we have done in Puerto Rico to work with that, but it's getting to a point where if we are not helped by going to an equal situation as to the hospitals in the States, or to the doctors, or to whatever other kinds of service there are, I think that our patients are going to suffer, and they're going to suffer greatly, because even if we want to do the best, it ain't going to be available. So I think that we have worked it out, and we have gone. I think that there are issues that are administratively, and I think that CMS and the White House should take care of them real fast. I think that there are issues that are legislatively. I think that, for example, getting the hospitals to pay 100% is something that we probably could do if there is a will.
Explain that to me, please.
Well, the Puerto Rico hospitals right now are paid on a 75 percentile of what the hospitals in the States are paid. And this has to be brought up to 100% through legislative action of Congress. Congress has gone through the years from 25%, we were reimbursed before 25%, then we were reimbursed 50%, then in 2001 or 2002 we started being reimbursed 75%. But we're still missing a 25%, which the Congress could do right away. That doesn't take, it's an issue that between September and November of this year, if there is a will, we could do it. Then the issues of the things that need to be worked in the formula for hospitals that affect MAs, that affect other services, that needs to be worked out, because the formula that you have is a long formula. You take 1 and you multiply it by 2 and you divide it by 1 and you keep on going on and on. But for example, there are issues there that where we're zero. Let's say that disproportionate share, the hospitals that provide services to Medicaid patients, that formula requires a number and then it is multiplied by the SSI. Puerto Rico has 0 SSI, so that number goes out the window.
So you get no dish payments?
Well, we get dish payments, but they are totally different from the dish payments that we get in the States, because when you multiply that dish factor by the SSI, it's not there. The other issue that we have that could be worked administratively, and that's our feeling, is, for example, the wage index. Puerto Rico, for example, has paid the professional in healthcare around $37,000, and in the States they get paid $78,000. That difference makes the wage index, our wage index, when it's factoring every year, very low. There is no way we can upgrade our salaries, but then the non-labor factor, because of the formula the way it is worked, the non-labor factor of that, which we have proved that the cost of doing business in Puerto Rico is the same as in the States or higher, does not go up. So that brings the formula down again. We feel that we need at least a one-time fix on the wage index, administratively, one way or the other. So that basic formula can go up, and then from there we can build our own wage index system. So those are some of the basis factors. We have described that maybe in Spanish, but we can do it in English through this. So I'll leave you with our magazine, which tells you and it's both the
I
same.
can read crisis.
Crisis.
So
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before I turn to our next speaker, Dr. Ramos, do you know what the reimbursement levels are and what the comparison is with other places, like, say, the Virgin Islands?
The Virgin Islands have a higher reimbursement, much higher than Puerto Rico. And that's a little bit of a mystery sometimes, and we know. Ron DeLugo was representative of the Virgin Islands for about 28 years, so he got great seniority in Congress, and he was able to do many things that we haven't been able to do. So they're getting rates, either New York rates or they're getting Florida rates.
They're getting New York rates?
New Jersey. The Medicare to the town in New Jersey as the same gypsy for Virgin Islands. Not any study.
Okay. It was an exception. They made an exception and basically put it apart with New Jersey, so that basically the reimbursement is much higher. Much higher. That it should be. Actually, is about almost 40% higher than the basic fee-for-service rate on the island.
And one issue when you look at some of the territories and things is that Puerto Rico is 90% of all of the territories.
Right.
Right. Population-wise.
Right. Right. Thank you very much.
Dr. Victor Ramos, President of the College of Physicians and St. John's Association of Puerto Rico. First of all, Madam Secretary, the legislature has created guilds or associations for each of many health-related professions in Puerto Rico. We have the nurse, and I represent the 10,000 physicians in Puerto Rico. Having said, there are a few basic facts that illustrate part of the brain drain triggered by inequality in federal healthcare funding. We lost over 3,000 physicians in 10 years, 12% of all the physicians. Last year, we lost 361, 3.5%, and this year probably for be 500 or more due to Medicare Advantage insurance canceled the contract with 700 doctors recently. The severe brain drain creates very dangerous shortage. We have only 2 pediatric cardiothoracic surgeons, one half 90 years old, 5 geneticists, 2 bariatric surgeons, 4 burn surgeons in Puerto Rico. What has to be done? The gypsy formula must be correct to reflect true costs in Puerto Rico. The current formula places Puerto Rico at the cheapest jurisdiction to practice medicine under U.S. flags, despite higher rents, electricity rates that are 2.5 to 3 more than in the nationwide. The Puerto Rico Statistics Institute made a study financed by our organization that proves that the current formula grossly underestimates true costs. You need to focus also on the fiscal cliff now. The new president will counter a fiscal cliff in healthcare funding in Puerto Rico, in which ACA funding will drop to 0 sometime in late 2017 or early 2018, because Puerto Rico government has burned through block grant faster than estimated. This year should be urging OMB and the White House to start addressing the issue in 2006-2017 budget proposal. Your transition team must address the issue during the transition to assure the 2007-18 budget prepared by existing administration fully address this issue. You can help defend physicians' right to work in Puerto Rico. You must demand as a precondition to supporting Medicare Advantage improvement that health insurance company resigns the cancellation of contracts to 700 MD recently left without work, which we forced to leave Puerto Rico if insurance are essentially allowed to determine who practice or doesn't Puerto Rico. This cut in physician contract not only ration the number of physicians, but will create even longer periods for medical appointment for patients in Puerto Rico. Once again, thank you for focusing on the very effect of inequality in federal healthcare funding in Puerto Rico. We sure that when you're going to be president, you're going to address the healthcare issue, the territorial issue that have all the problems of the funding in Puerto Rico is part of the territorial issues, and you are going to be the president. Then the problem with the healthcare issues and the territorial issues of Puerto Rico.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramos.
Good afternoon. Welcome. This is Julio Ramos, representative of the both college of nursing, the practical nursing, of the registered nursing. I have the 2 points. The first, maybe summary, the presentation for is the allocation of the necessary fund for Medicaid, Medicare, or general fund coverage. This will help in the retention for the medical staff and nursing. I have the one exos for nurses and physicians. Well, the second point is the credentialing process for the nurse. We need
What kind of process?
Credentialing. Yeah. Process need to the standardized to the mid-level for 15 state.
Well, I want to follow up with you and also with Dr. Ramos. On the credentialing, are you saying that there's a different credentialing process and you want the same credentialing process?
Well, no, is the difference for the nurse. So nurse maybe needed so the one state for Florida is the endorsement for license to nurse. The all state, the nursing needed they take the new exam for.
I see. So if they move to Florida, they have to take another exam, even though they're already credentialed here.
Okay. Well, needed standardized.
Right, right. And Dr. Ramos, you said something which interested me. Is it your point that the main reason behind the exodus of doctors are the cancellation of the contracts?
No, we have a problem for many years. For this year, we probably have 500 physicians leaving, and more because recently the Medicare Advantage program canceled the contract for 700 physicians in Puerto Rico. Sometimes this cancellation means 80% of the patient of this doctor.
I see.
We have no choice than to leave the island.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you so much. Yes.
Welcome, Madam Secretary. It's a pleasure to have you here in Puerto Rico. This week I was in Washington, D.C. at the ERP meeting. I just came back today from D.C. also at noon. And Nancy Lamont, our Senior Vice President, she was saying that in 2031, 1 out of 4 Americans was going to be 60 plus. In Puerto Rico today, 1 of every 3 Puerto Ricans is 50 plus. We're aging so much faster than any state in the U.S. Maybe even faster than Maine and Vermont, who are the ones that are the oldest. So we have a huge issue here with the aging of the population, and we need to really develop an integrated, easy access healthcare system to provide the well-being of the seniors here in Puerto Rico. I'm going to read a couple of things that I have here for you. It is well known, and it's very hard to find congressional solutions to Puerto Rico healthcare disparities due to the existing gridlock in Washington, D.C. This means that we need to start with some administrative actions HHS can take to ease the stress of the Puerto Rico healthcare system. In AARP, we have extreme concerns with the devolving healthcare landscape on the island and its implications on the well-being of Puerto Ricans, U.S. citizens in Puerto Rico. The nature of the challenges facing the federal programs in Puerto Rico will have an impact on the complete healthcare system, public and private. AARP is not only aware of the current state of the challenges we face, but is also engaged on how to solve these issues to respond specifically to the island's unique and emergent situation. As a result of the inaction to solve the federal program's challenges we face, a healthcare professionals migration, like Dr. Ramos said, and a reduction of network providers that was mentioned before, will have a direct impact, and this is a string concern we have in the access of healthcare services in Puerto Rico and the quality of the healthcare services in Puerto Rico. In July, AARP sent a letter to Secretary Burwell with recommendations of administrative actions in the short term to ease the stress of the Puerto Rico healthcare system. And I have a copy for you here of the letter we sent to the Secretary of Health. In that letter, we talk about Medicare. We talk about the recalculation of the fee-for-service rates. We talk about the treatment of hospice cost, the hospital cost, like Jaime Pla talked earlier, and the Medicare fee-for-service. We also talked there about in the letter about a recommendation of how the Secretary of Health can say that Puerto Rico can have an emergency waiver under Section 1135 of the Social Security Act, that they can add some more funds on Medicare, Medicaid, and SHIP to have an authority to provide additional funds under these programs in case of certain emergencies. We recommend that they use that emergency waiver due to the economic situation of the island, the crisis, financial crisis we go here in Puerto Rico right now. In the search of long-term solutions to the island's health-related challenges, AARP will support the creation of an HHS work group to establish a coordinated and long-lasting mechanism that engage the representatives with ties and expertise on Puerto Rico unique challenges.
Now, to make sure I understand that, you want to have a special...
A work group.
People...
it's important that we create a work group that has people that understand and have ties with the healthcare system in Puerto Rico, so they have the insight of how to solve the issues.
Okay.
We have also some concerns in AARP, and not just in Puerto Rico, it's nationwide. It's our concern that insurers' business decisions cause potential disruptions for their beneficiaries. One of those is allowing MA companies to alter their networks or PBMs during the calendar year after the subscribers have chosen the specific MA plan because it had their doctors or the medications. So within the enrollment process, I choose this company because it has my doctors and it has my medications. All of a sudden, it's January and February, then cancel those. And then the reason why I chose that specific MA.
Yes, right. I've heard that before.
Okay, Medicare Part B. And that hasn't been mentioned at the table yet. Puerto Rico is the only U.S. jurisdiction where Part B is an opt-in and not an auto-enrollment. Therefore, many Puerto Ricans pay high penalty fees for late enrollment in Part B for the rest of their lives. If people cannot pay Part B, they should be able to make informed decisions on the consequences of opting out Medicare Part B. TRICARE, the veterans. Puerto Rican soldiers fight shoulder to shoulder to the rest of the soldiers from the States and deserve the same treatment on their TRICARE right. Now, they only have access to TRICARE Standard, but not to TRICARE Prime. That will allow better health care for those who fought under the same flag.
They don't have access to TRICARE Prime?
No, they only have access to TRICARE Standard.
Really? So that's a VA decision?
It is a...
Okay.
So thank you so much for being here and listening to us. And I know that when you become president, you'll be very engaged with Puerto Rico, who support the youth before, and who support the
now. Please.
Hello, Elda Sierra, pharmacist, and I welcome you here to the island, Mrs. Clinton. Funny, always the pharmacist is the last one to see the patient. He is the one that gets all the screaming and all the yelling because the plan does not pay this or the hospital did this or whatever. But we know how to deal with that and calm the people down. It's very sad, and it's going to happen right now during this month, starting in this month, September, because of what was already mentioned of the low income subsidizing. Our patients here now in these last 3 months of the year will be getting into what we call, or what Medicare calls, the donut hole. And they won't have enough money to pay their deductibles right now. So I'm starting to see that already in our pharmacists. And we have here, gladly, we still have here in the island about 800 community pharmacies. And the patients are going to start making decisions on, will I buy the medicine that I need to be better health, or am I going to take a decision on paying my rent, my food, my electricity, power, whatever. And sometimes it's kind of hard to hear them say, I cannot take my insulin because the deductible is too high for me. And it's kind of sad that after you've been able to have a patient adhering to their treatment for the last 6, 7, 8 months, and then all of a sudden they will start visiting the hospitals, the emergency room, because they have not taken their medicines adequately because of the loss of money. Contrary of what happens in the States, that once the patient enters the donut hole, there comes around another grant, and that helps the patient pay for the deductibles. That does not happen here in Puerto Rico until, again, in January, we start all over the story all over again. That, as I see it, will never help us in the pharmacy area see our patient achieve the famous 5 stars, which are being right now the way we are being evaluated on how we have help our patients get adherence to their treatment, because in all the year we've been helping them, and then on the last 3 months it's going to go downwards. Okay? And so I don't see that we will ever be able to comply with our 5 stars and help the doctors with their patients. So in 2008, President Barack Obama made a commitment to Puerto Rico, and he knew or expressed that Puerto Rico was excluded from the low-income Part D subsidy of the Medicare prescription drug program. Instead, Puerto Rico receives an additional block grant in Medicaid to serve the poorest Medicare enrollees, leaving tens of thousands of low-income seniors without any assistance. Obama promised that he would work to in-phase an extension of the low-income subsidy to enrollees on the island on the same basis as in the States. But this has not happened yet. So we are looking forward at our next president, Mrs. Clinton, and first lady to be the president of the United States, to help us to help our seniors, because as Mr. Acaron said, next year probably a lot of the ones that are here will be entering that time of the life. And
wonderful time.
Very,
look, you're excited about
it. And we will be needing that help also to pay our deductibles to achieve a very good health and be able to live for quite a few time, to see our granddaughters and grandsons achieve their dreams also, and not to see our daughters and sons leaving the island and taking us with them, because there's going to come a time where they are leaving, and then they would like to leave us here and leaving the island also.
Right.
I would like to add something to that. I was in Connecticut in the summer. I met with a couple of the state representatives in Connecticut, and we were talking about that, how the issues that we have here in Puerto Rico with Medicare will make people start migrating to the states, and how will impact their budgets in the states. So, and I already know some friends of mine who live in the state that they have been taking the parents with them because they have
Right.
better services and more access to healthcare in the states than here.
Right.
And that's it's kind of sad. And I would like also to add to my comments that we will be having the problem also that the medicines here in Puerto Rico, the only way they come in is by air or by water.
Right.
There's no other way that we can receive medicines. So that makes medicine here in Puerto Rico costly. And in the States, probably the deductibles could be much more lower because the companies are over there and they can buy at lower prices. Here in the island, our prices are much, much higher. So when it comes to paying deductibles based on the cost of the medicine here in Puerto Rico, that's another problem for our seniors to meet the deductibles.
Right. This is very helpful. Any additional comments that anyone? Yes.
If you allow me, there is one additional item that is sort of adding salt to the injury. That is, it's called the hit, and it's really hitting Puerto Rico very hard. And this is a special tax that the IRS put to the health insurance business in the nation and in Puerto Rico. And basically, you have to pay a percentage of your gross premiums every year, and you pay that money to the IRS. Supposedly, that money is to fund the exchange program. The problem is that Puerto Rico don't have an exchange because by mandate, Puerto Rico was only allowed one of the three options, and Puerto Rico was basically given a block grant as the only option for Puerto Rico to implement an exchange. Nevertheless, you have to pay exactly the same percentage as in the state. That represents for Puerto Rico more than $150 million that Puerto Rico has to pay without getting any benefit back.
Do you want to talk about that?
I agree with him, and it's an issue that is very important to resolve because it's $150 million that could add
No, it's basically
give
what is
better
doing.
services in the island.
Yeah, and what it's doing is hurting the reserves that the insurance companies need to have. You have the Commissioner of Insurance sitting there, and she can attest to what I'm saying. And it's really putting a lot of pressure on the industry because.
So I just want to be sure I understand. So we have the insurance commissioner here,
right? Yes.
And I'd be happy to have you add to that. But let me just understand. So the tax on insurance companies that was included in the Affordable Care Act
Yes.
affects your companies even though you're not able to take advantage of the exchanges and the subsidies. Is that
Exactly.
No mandate and no subsidies, and still we have to pay that approximately $150 million this year, and that's going to increase.
It's going up.
Okay, and our companies are hurting.
And these are primarily, these are Puerto Rican companies plus Puerto Rican subsidiaries of national companies?
It's all the insurance companies that are doing business with all the different medical plans.
So if you do business in Puerto Rico, on your business in Puerto Rico, you have to pay the tax, even though you can't offer the services through an exchange that are offered elsewhere.
Exactly.
That's
And
really,
hurts both the
that is adding insult to
Yes.
injury. I think that was a
And
fair.
that hurts both the local companies and the U.S. companies that do business in Puerto
And that's 150 million.
This year.
This year.
That's
It's going up
to increase
because
next year.
And that comes from the companies themselves, or it comes from a combination?
It comes from the companies, and they can,
They pass it on.
They can pass it on to the consumer. So really, the ones that are ending up paying it is the consumer.
It's always about
Of
us.
the government plan, the government has to
The
pay
government
for it.
plan.
So actually, the federal government is paying part of it too. So it makes no sense. And we have gone to Treasury, we have gone to the President, we have gone to every single place that we can think of to ask for relief on that, which we think could be an administrative relief very easily given. So.
Is that in this letter, or is that a different issue?
No, that's a different issue.
No, that's a different
That I have sent to the Secretary.
Yeah.
Good.
We have
Okay.
plenty of.
And I think that there was a conversation not too long ago with the IRS, and they refused
That's correct.
To make any exception.
to make any exception. And that was about 2 weeks ago. We're very
Recent.
Well, that does add an additional challenge to the whole picture.
I don't know if that would go with no taxation without representation.
Well, you certainly could make the argument. Anyone else? Because that was a great last-minute addition, because I did not know that.
Well, I have another one.
I came to listen.
I know. Well, when the incentives were given for the electronic health record, there was
The electronic.
The electronic health record. There was $19 billion done to the ARA program for incentives to the hospitals to develop the electronic health record, and the Puerto Rico hospitals were left out because of how the law was written. There was no intention, everybody tells us at this act, that there was no intention of leaving us out, but the definition that was used for the hospitals, which would be subsection D of the Social Security Act, only includes the hospitals in the 50 states and the District of Columbia.
Ah.
So when they defined that, because they wanted to define acute hospitals, and it was very easy to do that through that, and that means that the hospitals in Puerto Rico are developing electronic health records without any real incentive for doing that. So we are lagging behind. I think that this conversation goes to show you that we are heading to a situation which may not be the best one in the very short future, not in the long future. Maybe in 2000 we were talking about the long future, but now it's getting to a point where it's the short future.
Right. It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Anything more? Well, this was incredibly useful. I have a lot of notes, some of which I already had in my briefing, but some of which I'm hearing for the first time. And I thank all of you for sharing your experience. And I agree with the last comment that this is all moving to a head. The timing on a lot of these changes and the impacts on Medicare and Medicaid and the Medicare Advantage and all of the whole suite of healthcare programs is certainly going to have a dire effect on the people of Puerto Rico, and it will further exacerbate the exodus of doctors and nurses and of families, because obviously you have to be worried about what kind of health care you can get if people are moving to Florida, New Jersey, Connecticut, wherever they might be. And your point about how once you move to the states, you get the same benefits that anybody who's an American citizen gets.
Right. It is geographic discrimination because in America, they lose.
Well, it's just hard to justify how you can be an American citizen in Puerto Rico and be treated differently in so many ways from being an American citizen anywhere else. And it's really hard for me to accept that, as it must be for all of you, because especially when we think about the large numbers of Puerto Rican sons and daughters who have served in our military, who have fought in the wars of the United States, who have paid the ultimate price. And I remember very well back in 2008 going to a memorial and learning more about the great heroic service and duty that Puerto Rican young people have exhibited over the years. And so this contribution that you've made over so many decades is one that I think first and foremost demonstrates unequivocally the role that Puerto Rico has played in our national defense, in our culture, in our history, and so many of the other contributions. The challenges you're facing really, for me, illustrate this disparity. As I said earlier, I think no one who is fair-minded could listen to this and conclude anything other than the way Puerto Rico is being treated when it comes to health is inconsistent, it is incoherent, it is inequitable. And your examples just clearly drive that home. And it just shouldn't continue. And we must do more to deal with what is morally wrong and economically disastrous for the people of Puerto Rico. And as you rightly point out, it also will cost other states. This is a problem that can be solved by people literally voting with their feet. And that is not a fair burden to impose upon the people of Puerto Rico, American citizens, and particularly for older people. You know, for a son or a daughter to say, come move with me to Connecticut or to Florida, when somebody's lived here their entire lives, when their social network, when their entire sense of themselves is rooted here in Puerto Rico, is just wrong. As president, I will do everything I can to put Puerto Rico on a path toward equal treatment clearly, I know about the unequal treatment under Medicare and Medicaid, but now I'm learning about the unequal treatment under the VA TRICARE program. So this is embedded in so many of the health programs that people deserve to be able to access because of their citizenship. And secondly, I think it is clear that you can't solve Puerto Rico's healthcare crisis without addressing the economic problems that you are confronting. And I know that there have been a lot of calls from people for greater austerity measures, but I do not believe you can fix your economy through austerity alone. And I have tried to follow some of the negotiations that have been going on. I know there was at least an apparent deal struck to restructure some of PREPA's debts. Now Congress needs to do its part, and that means it should give Puerto Rico the authority to let severely distressed government entities, including public corporations and municipalities, restructure their debts. There is no alternative because the debt is so large and it is impossible to restructure it without the kind of help you get in bankruptcy. And that should be something that we all work toward. I know political leaders across the spectrum agree to that here in Puerto Rico, but not a single Republican has stepped up in Washington to support the leaders of Puerto Rico, and they're not offering any alternatives either. And that is just unacceptable because this is a crisis. We've talked this afternoon about the healthcare crisis, but it goes hand in hand with the economic crisis. And you deserve better than that. I was talking to some of my friends. I remember coming here in 1998 after Hurricane George. I actually led a presidential delegation to get a better idea of the devastation. That led to a special task force that was put into place to make sure Puerto Rico got the help it needed to come back from that terrible hurricane. Well, I think we're in a similar situation now. It's not a hurricane, but it's a perfect storm, as one of you said. A perfect storm of economic and health care challenges exacerbated by the fact that there are gross inequities in the way that Puerto Rican citizens, the American citizens, are treated. So we need the same spirit of solidarity now. And, this is one of those problems: solve it now here or deal with it later somewhere else. And it just seems to me that it's a more humane, practical, smart alternative to deal with it here. Now, third, I would have to add that many of the challenges Puerto Rico faces, whether economic, healthcare, or anything else, tie back to the fundamental question about Puerto Rico's ultimate political status. And ever since you became a territory, leaders from all across the political spectrum have wanted a form of government that permits Puerto Rico's national laws to be democratically determined. This comes down to your basic rights, as many of you have heard me say already. Puerto Ricans have the right to form a government of your choice that is representative at all levels of government, just as you have a right to equality as American citizens. You have dealt with this issue multiple times, most recently in November 2012. Also, Congress has now passed a law that would resolve this issue through another plebiscite. The next step is for Puerto Rico's Elections Commission to submit options to the U.S. Department of Justice to ensure that whatever choice Puerto Rico makes will be respected. And I want to emphasize that, because ultimately this has to be your choice. But I want to be sure that the United States government, in particular the Congress, is obligated to honor that choice. And for me, this is vital to Puerto Rico's future, but it's also vital to the future of the United States, because it speaks to the kind of democracy we are. And we need to empower the people of Puerto Rico to make these decisions for yourselves. And we can't do that until we have a resolution, however you decide it, that will be respected and implemented by the Congress. So I think that it is a perfect storm right now. It is a challenge that is really taxing you on every level. And it is something that I want every American, wherever you live, to understand. There are still too many people living in the States who don't even know Puerto Ricans are citizens.
Every day.
That's right, right? In fact, somebody was telling me earlier that in some places now people are being asked for green cards who are from Puerto Rico. And when you say, wait a minute, I'm an American citizen, people, what do you mean? And so we have some education to do in order to lay the groundwork for whatever choice you make, it will be respected, but also to deal with some of these inequities, to make a very strong argument that we're talking about American citizens who deserve all the support that they can get anywhere else if they move to any other part. Now, I know that this is not easy. I know we've got work to do, but I do want to pledge my absolute commitment. It will be at the top of my priority. I think there's some things we have to do between now and January of 2017, when I will be inaugurated. We do have to intervene with the administration, continuing to do so with the Congress, but then we have to have a longer plan. And we need people here to agree on that plan. And one of you said you are unified when it comes to dealing with the healthcare crisis. Strength is in unity. When you can be divided, you can be conquered. And I'm not telling you anything because a lot of the people in this room are both experts and veterans of a lot of the challenges in getting Puerto Rico to be treated fairly. If the Congress or any administration can set Puerto Ricans against one another, that relieves them of all responsibility. So when it comes to the healthcare crisis and the very difficult economic crisis that you are confronting. The more unity you can have across all of the party and the historical lines that have divided you, the stronger you will be in making that case, and the less likely it can be that the Congress will be able to turn you away. And so for me, it is also probably worth thinking about doing a lot more, sending people around the country, particularly to places where a lot of Puerto Rican doctors, nurses, and just citizens have moved, to do a lot of television, a lot of radio, a lot of meetings, because you are not only working to build a coalition, starting with Puerto Ricans who live in the United States. You know, it always struck me as so indefensible that you can't vote for president if you live here, but if you move to Florida, which of course, I'm just naming a state, you can vote for a president. And I think that a lot of Puerto Ricans are wondering, well, that makes no sense. You know, the geographic disparity and discrimination that exists within our laws makes absolutely no sense. I could not agree more. It makes absolutely no sense. But strength comes from unity. Good, effective arguments come when everybody is on the same page and nobody's being split off. So I've heard the Congress, you know, when I was in the Senate from New York, and we would fight for some kind of tax exemption or something that would help Puerto Rico. We had to get everybody on the same page first, and then we went forward. And that's more important today than it's ever been. And then obviously trying to get the plebiscite set up so that maybe the decision can be made, and then we can turn the attention to making sure the Congress implements that decision. So I want to lend you all of my support, my best efforts on your behalf to try to figure out how we deal with the current crisis, which will only get worse. You know, it's like a medical condition. If you don't treat it, it will get worse. But you've got a healthcare crisis. If you don't treat it, it will get worse. And more people will suffer, and more people will be left out. And as you were rightly saying, there will be people who are going to pay a price because they cannot afford to do what their doctors have told them to do. So thank you all so much for taking your time to be with me today.
Oh, I know. Oh, no, it's not too fast. It was swaggy.
Yeah.
That was a swag walk.
How do I get it both?
I think you could go sideways, can't you?
Let's do this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you?
Miss that newsroom, says Tina Jennings. What's up, Tina?
Oh, hey, Tina girl.
Tina's got some stories.
You're simultaneously.
That's right.
Periscoping.
I like to call it double dipping, is what I like to call it.
Well, now you make me want guacamole.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see you doing your research here.
I know, I'm so good at Google.
Yeah, very good.
So
very good.
So tell me, there's exciting cards news.
Yes.
This is gonna bother
but first, let me tell a story about Tina Jennings, who just said she misses the newsroom. She was the one that I had to call.
She invented the internet.
I had to call and confirm when I was doing a barbecue one Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, I've heard this story.
Yeah, and they called me. I cleaned up. I made hot dogs for everybody. Everything was great. And then it turns out I almost burned the building down because I put the hot coals in the recycling dumpster.
Slow clap.
And I didn't believe when they called. I had to call Tina and be like, "Is that really?" She's like, "Yeah, you really did."
You really almost set the building on fire.
Yeah, Tina's good to me.
But you know what? No one ever complains about hot firefighters showing up at your doorstep.
Nobody.
So Tina probably owes you one.
Yeah. Oh, she owes me a couple. And then it was funny. I guess about a month or two later, it was her birthday. We got her a cake, and I went and ran and got the cake, and we brought it back. They're like, "Oh, you didn't put any candles?" I was like, "I'm not messing with anything that has fire to do with it." Yeah.
I'm retired from the fire.
Yes. But speaking of fire, the Cardinals are on fire, making moves. Made a trade today for Matt Barkley.
He's kind of cute. I'm kind of into it.
Yeah. Okay. So you say he makes the team? He makes the cut?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he was great in college at USC. I mean, he had great numbers. He was like the only guy to ever start at quarterback as a true freshman for USC. But that success just didn't translate in the NFL. He was battling Tim Tebow, another popular name.
Yeah.
For the
I love
third
Tim
spot.
Tebow. John 3:16.
Yes. And I guess Tim Tebow beat him out, so now he became expendable, and the Cardinals get him. So they get him for a conditional 7th round pick, which means if he plays a certain amount of games or is on the roster for a certain amount of games, then they'll get a 7th round pick. So, but it's interesting because Logan Thomas played so well, who's the other quarterback for the Cardinals, who's kind of like their project, and he was battling Phillip Sims for
Do you want to be a project, though? I guess you do.
Well, I mean, if you're going to make, decent money, the minimum salary.
Oh, yeah. A project, projects like that I get. You haven't even laughed about your lower third, and I've been...
What does it say? I didn't even see. Where is it? What's resident professional cheerleader expert? I like it. I've been called worse. I'll say that right now. But,
we have a very similar sense of humor.
Yes, we do. I like that. We're both really funny.
No, we are hilarious.
Hey, Debbie Mason.
Oh, she loves you.
I love her.
But our sense of humor has to stay in the sports department.
Yes.
It really can't. We can't expose it here. So this is my G-rated version.
I like it.
Our giggles. Dave Muncy came out earlier and he said, "You want to tell me those jokes you were telling the boys in the sports department?" I said, "No, I cannot repeat that."
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I know me either. He said, "No, you're either in it or you're out."
Exactly.
It's like Fight
You're
Club.
in the circle of trust.
Yeah.
I was thinking Meet the Parents, but Fight Club is another way to put it. Yes.
The sports department's like the greatest little, although it's a heat box.
Yeah.
We got to get that AC fixed, HR. Although
it's actually cold in the sports
Oh, is
office.
it now?
Yeah.
It was funky the other day.
I guess you made
maybe it was
concern.
Jude. Maybe it was Jude LaCava that was keeping it heated
he was
in there.
Funky. It's just in. Jude smells funky.
Jude is funky.
Yeah.
But it was pretty warm in there the other day. But it's the coolest little fish box. You guys have your own little, sanctuary, and it is full of laughs and joy and
yes,
and jokes.
What is your preferred roast when brewing some coffee?
I prefer whatever Starbucks hands me in the drive-thru.
I always change my name when I'm there. I try out new names, like Sebastian. I was Sebastian one time.
You kind of look like, if you were a Sebastian, you'd be a Disney Prince Sebastian.
One time I was there and I just said, I go, "What's your name?" I go, "Blaze." And the girl looked at me and I go, "That's not really my name," but I figured we were gonna try it out. And so they were really cool about it. They were like, "Okay, Blaze is coming up." They got like any excuse to say the name. They're like Blaze. And then like the lady after me was like Dorothy or something. And I was like, boring.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad name.
No, at least you didn't say Debbie, because you would have crushed her.
Right? No, I think Debbie is an awesome name. Yes.
That's kind of like our friend Ale in the chat room. He started in the chat room he was going by the name Eduardo, which I thought was very regal.
Right, exactly.
Well, Eduardo is a huge beer fan. He also likes pens. He's offended by the fact that I use Sharpies. He now refers to himself as ale, as in the beer.
Oh,
if I referred to myself as things I'd love, I would be In Sync.
In Sync?
Yeah.
That would be your name?
Yeah. Or Joey Fatone. I'd be Joey Fatone.
If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Well, I've always wanted to be Charisma Kinsey.
Charisma Kinsey.
It's two names. It'd be Charisma Kinsey.
Yeah, I like that.
I went through this phase. Or Kinsey Bailey or Kinsey Chase. I thought Kinsey Chase would be a great news name, because I'm always on the chase for the next lead.
Yeah. And when you order pizzas, they go, "Okay, in your name," and they program your number. And I forgot. I did that one time, and then I sent Mark Malrich. I said, "Hey, you fly by," so he took off, and then he's like, "Dude, what name is it under?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot." I was like Tyrone or something. I couldn't remember. So yeah, I like trying out new names, especially at Starbucks when I'm getting the.
We're crazy. So the Cards are looking pretty good. Out of 4 pre-games, they won 50% of them, right?
Yeah, but the preseason record doesn't matter.
Does it really not? Then why do they do this?
To see which guys can play at the NFL level. So a lot of guys that play in the preseason games don't even make the team. Oh. So that's why the score really doesn't matter. I like to look at the score like, what was the score when the starters, the guys that are going to play, leave. So that's going to. Somebody wants to know about the Tom Brady thing.
Oh yeah.
It's never going to end. It's just crazy. But I think I kind of had a feeling.
If I were him and I had hey, I'd like to take a nap right now with my wife, and I crawled up next to Giselle, I'd figure it out. I'd figure it all out. I
Right.
would have nothing to complain about.
Yes.
Oh, my maid just stole my toilet paper. I'd get over it. You know what I mean?
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Exactly. Oh, Debbie says that's catchy, your new name.
Debbie also loves Tom Brady, so we got to be careful about what we say about Tom Brady's.
Yeah,
She's
well,
all
you
about
know,
that life.
he's got quite a following.
Well, this is an interesting question. Who will be on top, the division, Cardinals or Seahawks?
And Tess is correct in naming those two, because that's going to be the battle. It's going to be between those two teams. And
Is that really annoying guy still on the Seahawks that got in the camera that one time?
Oh yes, Richard Sherman. Yeah, he's a major guy for them. And then this year, when you think, okay, Seattle's going to have to start coming down to earth a little bit. You know, they've been so good for a good 2-3 years now. They go and they get Jimmy Graham, like the best tight end. Well, second best maybe to Gronkowski.
All
for
I
the
know
Patriots.
is Billy Graham, but he's the
Yeah,
best
right.
evangelist. So I imagine that Jimmy's on the same
Jimmy's up
boat.
there. Yeah, he's heavenly, right? No, but seriously, he's good. He's great, and he always plays well against the Cardinals. I'm like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
It's like the rich getting richer. So
Oh,
it's going to
man,
be
y'all.
interesting. But the Cardinals, I think, are really going to be good. I think they got a lot of depth. I think this is going to be one of their best teams, if not the best team they've had since they moved to Arizona. I said it. That's right. I said it.
Boom.
I
we
said
might
it.
have to clip this.
It had to be said.
This
No,
might need to be
seriously, even
Instagram
better than that
video.
Super Bowl team than when they went to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, it's gonna be between those two teams, that's for sure. And what are we playing here?
That's a little delayed.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
just a tad bit. It threw me off.
Inception.
I was like, where am I? My brain was just about to go.
But you're like, D word, I look handsome. I have to ask you a question as a boy, talking to a girl that doesn't know a lot about sports. Is that difficult? Do you not care? Is it fun? Is it interesting?
Actually, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I do my sports cast, I want to engage the non-sports fan. Because the sports
New
fan,
fan.
he's going to watch.
Yeah.
Or she's going to watch. I want their girlfriend or boyfriend to start watching.
Well,
I want to make it that interesting
know
that
why
even
you-
the non-sports fans watch.
You do such a great job because there's humor in everything.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I try my best. I really do.
No, but every time I'm watching you at home at 10 o'clock at night because I need a life, I'm like, oh, that's so funny that he said that just right there. That's hilarious. And
Oh,
adorable.
cool. Good, good.
I know I
like to
am.
hear that.
I'm joking, but I like to be really annoying when I'm out on dates and with people that are very engaged in sports.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, oh, wait, Shaq, wrong sport, baby girl, wrong sport.
Yeah, I remember because I grew up with two older sisters, and they weren't really big sports. I remember I grew up in Texas and in San Antonio, and I took her to a Spurs game, and it's like second quarter, like almost second half, and she was watching the game, and then she was like, "Now which ones are the Spurs again?" And I was
Oh,
like,
Lord.
"Oh my
Oh,
God."
Lord.
Yeah,
Medea.
so-
That's what Medea would say. Oh, good Lord.
Exactly.
Did you see Trainwreck?
No, but I want to
Oh,
see
my
it.
gosh.
I
You are going to love it
I
so
heard that
bad.
Braun did pretty good.
Yeah,
I
he
saw
did.
Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, that's
how I
scary.
roll. But
Duck.
that was actually pretty good. The soundtrack's going to be good, obviously. But I've heard nothing but great things about
You have to see it, and you have
yeah.
to tell me after you see
Okay.
it because it's so cute.
Because LeBron did actually pretty good.
He did. Glenn, grow up. Glenn.
See the stuff that's being thrown at me?
It's actually me. I throw stuff at Glenn all day. And then I act super.
Oh, then you use me to shield
Yeah.
you. Yeah. I'm literally taking one for the team right now.
Yeah. Well, you got to get ready for your
Yes,
9.
I do. So thanks for letting me come by.
Thanks for
letting
talking
me
to me.
Periscope.
Oh, bye, guys. Bye,
Bye, guys.
Bye, Periscope.
See you.
Bye, little Pete. Come say hi, Mark. Yeah, you should be simultaneously periscoping too. He calls it double dipping.
Richard is the periscope. I wish we could down periscope this chair, but it never seems to.
And then they'll make you feel weird, like
Unless
going
you
like
gotta,
this. Hello.
unless you do the.
Hey, how's sports going?
Good day, but again, welcome.
What are you covering right
How's
now?
everyone doing? Well,
You spend a lot of time at ASU.
the ASU game tomorrow.
Is that one in Houston or is tonight?
It's
what
the
is
one
it?
in Houston.
I'm seeing people traveling to it. I'm like,
Okay, so let me tell you a quick story before we get into that.
Here we go.
I'm at the gas station in Ahwatukee this
He needs
morning.
gas sometimes.
Had to fill her up.
Is this in the
And-
car with the transmission?
No. This is the reliable Honda. And I'm like, I might get the car wash. I figured the storms are over. So I roll through the car wash, and I'm coming out of the car wash. It's still pushing me through. And I look over, and I see a guy head to toe in Texas A&M gear.
Whoa.
And they're playing Texas A&M tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm
So you
thinking,
tried to start a fight.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's Friday, wear your team colors to work day, but you don't do that here.
No.
So I put it on Twitter this morning, and I got a couple of responses, but I'm thinking, what is wrong with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Does he want...
You wanted to fight
He wants
him.
to get hurt? I'm not violent.
I know you're not.
I
You're
might
a
have
teddy
some,
bear.
I would
You're
have
my
some-
teddy bear.
I would
You're
have
my buddy.
some words. Maybe we would have an exchange.
You're my
Like,
bud.
buddy, I'd probably try to help him out. Say, you might want to change
Hey, I
before
have to,
something
let's
happens.
go to PV Mall. I got to hook you up with some real swag gear.
Go to, like, Sports Authority or something.
I just wanted to reference PV Mall because it's so ratchet right now,
Yeah?
allegedly.
What does that mean?
It's just like Metro Center. It's becoming Metro Center.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you mean.
Look
yeah.
at your lower third. I've been thinking that that's funny tonight.
Professional cheerleader expert 2.0. Why 2.0? I'm the
'Cause
original.
You're better than Richard, and he
Oh,
was the original.
He was the original cheerleader? Well, see, I was in the marching band at ASU, so that's like the next step from that. No, I played trumpet. Thank you very much. Very good. I'm getting updates.
Here, I'll get it.
I'm getting updates from my.
Hello.
I'm getting updates from my
have the
my
wrong number.
nephew. No, my nephew is playing.
You have the wrong number.
He's got his high school football game tonight. He plays at Higley High School,
Oh, and Gilbert.
and they were winning last I checked. But he was named a captain tonight. So, shout out to my nephew Avery
Raise the roof.
and the Higley High School Knights. I hope I got that right. I believe they're the Knights. Yeah, really awesome for him.
Are you not going to raise it? Am I doing this
I
by
will
myself?
raise the roof. I
Thank
will
you.
lift it, and then I will raise it. But I'm very happy for him. Hi everyone, by the way. Sorry I haven't been here in a while.
He was in Tin City.
No. I've been busy back in the office. A lot of moving and shaking. So
Yes, because
Yeah.
Mark is also an Emmy-winning producer
an editor.
and editor.
Yes, that is correct.
It's hard to win Emmys. Look at me. Look at my empty shelf. Look at my tears.
Well, first of all, you have to pay for them. Like you have to pay to enter your stuff, and that's half the battle.
Are you for reals?
It's expensive.
You have to pay to enter your stuff?
You have to pay your entry fee. You pay a membership fee, then you pay an entry fee, and it all goes to
This
the
behind
television
the scenes
community.
life is terrifying.
Yeah. Someone thinks I have a very pretty shirt. Normally it's golf shirts, so today's something
oh, wow,
special.
Mark, you are getting a lot of
Yes.
love in this chat room.
I like that. Yeah, college football teams. Who do you like? Go. Well, Baylor looked pretty good tonight after
You
they
haven't
struggled.
even wished Beyonce a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, B. Is that what it is? Is that her
Yeah.
nickname?
Yep.
Uh-oh. And then the shoulder shrugs. Who do I like?
Well, you like ASU.
I like ASU, and here's the thing. I was born in Michigan, and I know they lost last night, and it's going to take a couple years for Harbaugh to turn it around. But to say that Ohio State is probably going to be in the Final Four again is hard for me to say because they are rivals. But they just have such an easy schedule, and they're already rated number one, and they're ranked number one, so they'll be fine. I'm not an Alabama fan, but they're always right there.
Alabama.
Yeah. So, but they've got a lot of new pieces. I like ASU. I really think they have a good chance to do. Here's the thing: when I was in school, it was the Jake Plummer year, and you just knew after a couple games that there was something special happening.
Oh,
There was no way to.
It was like a unicorn.
Yeah, there was no way to explain it. They were finding ways to win games, and this team seems to have that it factor. One, the size and speed and the discipline that they have and the talent level that they have, the depth that, they have it. You could make a checklist 20 deep and they check everything off. And they're they're preseason number 15 in the country, so they're right there to make a jump up to the top 10. All they got to do is win.
What's your go-to roast when brewing coffee? Asks Ale.
Hazelnut.
Nice.
Hazelnut
You're
with throw some caramel in there. That works. Or French vanilla.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that works. One of the two. But yeah, hazelnut.
What are the top stories in sports tonight? Do you know?
Well, the Cardinals made a trade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did
that
you
guy,
and Richard
right?
talk about it?
Is it
Yeah,
that guy?
Matt Barkley.
Okay.
Okay, so Matt Barkley, the year before he was drafted, everyone thought he was going to come out early after his junior year. They're like, oh, he's going to be the number one pick. best quarterback in college football. He says
He's super handsome.
he says,
too.
oh yeah, he says no. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do my senior year, try to win a championship. He does, and his stock plummets. He gets picked in the 4th round. I think it was the 4th round. So, and then he's been a backup with the Eagles. He's played in a couple games. I think he's thrown for like 300 career yards. But I like the move because I think he is a better suited for a pro system like Bruce Arians runs. Versus what the Eagles run with the kind of the up tempo read option stuff like that. He was never really that type of quarterback. So I think
what are you saying? Should we be excited? Is this really?
I don't think you
should
be. I don't think you should be excited now. I think you should be excited next year and the year after because I think Carson Palmer is going to be the man for 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking right now. They're kicking the tires on anybody, but they're trying to find the guy that can take over for Carson when he's done. Maybe 2 years from now. So you're looking at this as a long term.
This is like a well in advanced strategy.
Yeah, he's an intelligent player. I just think he needs the right opportunity, the right coaching, and who knows? He may if Drew Stanton doesn't come back next year, he could end up being your 2nd string quarterback next year.
Interesting.
And that's fine. You hold the clipboard for a year, and then boom, you're the starter 2 years from now.
Yeah. Or if you watch Friday Night Lights, you're the star quarterback. You get into an accident. You're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, and then all of a sudden Matt Saracen is the lead quarterback, and everybody likes Matt Saracen better anyway.
Is that in Friday Night Lights, or are you talking about Remember the Titans?
Friday Night Lights.
Remember the Titans was the linebacker that got hit by the car.
Yeah, Friday
I'm mixing my
Night
shows.
Lights.
Mark, my thoughts on Chris Johnson. My thoughts on Chris Johnson are he is a pro running back. He gets it.
I do
he
like
knows,
this shirt.
Thank you. He knows where the play's supposed to go. He knows I can only get 2 yards here. I'm going to get 2. Or I can explode here and I can pick up 10. Like, he looked really good in the preseason game last night. And he's really good. He understands pass protection, too, which I think a lot of people don't understand. They see running backs. They're like, oh, he's got to run 50 yards. He's got to do this. Look, on a play-action play, if a linebacker or a defensive end is blitzing, and he comes over and he just nails him and stops him, gives the quarterback that extra second and a half, quarterback throws a touchdown, that's just as valuable as a 20-yard run. And he understands that concept. He can do that too. I think, Ellington is a great pass catcher. It's the same thing. You don't miss a beat. He needs to work on his pass blocking a little bit. But everyone's really excited about David Johnson, and I am too, the rookie.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing they've kind of knocked on him yet is he hasn't really figured out when he's supposed to chip, when he's supposed to block or stay in, and all of a sudden the quarterback gets hit. So you can't really put him out there. But I really like Chris Johnson. I think if you can get 75% of what Chris Johnson was in his prime, I think he's going to have an outstanding year.
You're so smart.
Well, I watch a lot of games.
Well, and you know what
I pay
you're talking
attention.
about.
I pay attention.
I'm very impressed with you.
Well, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna lock it up now. I'm gonna lock it up.
Oh yeah, it's all that time.
Brian, are you working right now on the show? Are you on the 9 right now? Are you working on the show? Yeah. Could you do like a 3-second Periscope with me? I want to go tell Jordy bye on air because it's his last
You're welcome
day.
for that explanation. Is it really?
Yeah, well, Sunday is. Oh, you have him for 2 more days. I don't know.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life.
Well, that's too bad.
I know.
I'm sorry to hear that because he's very good.
He's like the best except for
Ooh,
you.
look at this. There's just an iPad out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's so sneaky.
You sneaky. Oh, you so sneaky. All right, Brian, you're going to tweet it, right? Or no, how does Periscope work? Oh, who's logged in? Is it Samia? How are we on Samia's?
What do we got going on?
I'm trying to get the Periscope to work. Oh.
So it should auto tweet.
I don't know if I want to do it on the News Now account.
Well, it's good to be back with you all. I could ramble on and on about sports all night long. But feel free to tweet me at Mark Malarich if you want. I'll answer all your questions.
I don't see it. I see it, son.
Oh, look at this.
Connecting.
Periscope. And there it is.
Hear myself.
And there it is.
Oh, will you do it sideways?
Can I do it sideways?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it's on a delay.
Yeah.
Even better.
So I'm going to. Now I have to. I'm going to take my lower third down. Let's go say bye to George.
Yeah, I should flip it.
Ooh,
Well, I'll see you all later.
Yeah, he's
You
staying.
guys enjoy.
We're gonna go
Working
say.
sideways?
I think so. Let me see. It looks good on the screen.
On mine, I can't.
It looks good on the screen right there. Okay, let's go.
Is it working sideways?
Looks good on.
It's on mine, I can't.
I go give a John down, but my hand so for next season. So here with next 5 fast track, Troy races so like straight big board, sand. I'm gonna get a sand timer and everything. Races food whatever big races food somewhere. Troy's house. Oh, Troy said he'll host it. Oh, better. Right now I have it. We're all down. I feel like it's like $20. It's been real simple and nobody about it.
This is Jordy and Kenzie's last FNN moment.
This is big time.
Yeah.
Going for it.
Hard.
Hard.
All right.
Getting out of here. Look at the roster and think about it. Yeah, it is. Real
So now I'm gonna head back out into the studio and shut it down, but we've traumatized plenty of employees this morning. And we said bye to George. Gonna get another Mark Malward shower. Oh wow, there's quite a delay here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on. You can cut it.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Whoa. That's so that was that was a little tour. Also saying bye to George. Let me check in with the chat room before I sign off, because we are 7 minutes past, which means our local 9 o'clock broadcast is on Channel 10, and let's see. They can't read our comments, so we should go crazy, says Ale. No, I can see them. Thank you, Jordy, says Frankie. Hey, man, I wish you the best. So sweet. Don't fall. I'll try not to. Yes. Thank you all for watching. 9 o'clock. That means on Channel 10, our 9 o'clock broadcast is currently on. If you are not local, you can head over to fox10phoenix.com and stream our local TV news broadcast from wherever you are. You can download our app. It's free, and it's probably one of the best ways to stream our content. So I would do that if I were you. You should follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. We are Fox 10 News Now. We're Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. We are so appreciative to have you watching our shows, and we cannot wait to see you next week. We will be here on Monday. I will see you then. Bye. Have a good weekend. Have a safe holiday weekend.